This is cutting down the nets. Coming off a heater. What a fun day. Gosh, I love winning, and I hate losing. I'll tell you that for free. Iowa got it done, and I learned that Rutgers has a strength coach. Um, yeah, Ron Harper Jr. has had access to like a strength and conditioning coach for 4 years. Blew my mind. So 10-3 day. And the three losses, um, they're on me. Number one, Fordham. Quisenberry was out. He got hurt the game before, and after tracking his injury for like a month, he was finally back. And then he played like 2 games and then left with an injury, and I missed it. So I would not have bet Fordham if I knew Quisenberry was out or even questionable, and that's just a whiff on my part. And they still almost got there, but yeah, not something I would have done. The other one was Dayton, which I don't know. Laying a lot of points against a really good offense in a slower paced game, not a recipe for success. And then Ryder. If you looked at the spreadsheet and were smarter than me, Ryder was a play the entire day. And I was staring at a 4.5. I wanted a 5, and I thought for sure I'd get one. And waited long enough that it became a 3.5. And I accepted, like, fine, it's still a good play. And the game ended on 4. So, other than that, good day. Back on track. Let's attack Saturday, tomorrow, this Selection Sunday. Here is what I am looking at with some notes, and then there's a couple games and matchups pending yet. Recent data likes Tennessee, but keep in mind recent data has a few games without a healthy Ty Washington and Severe Wheeler for Kentucky. So I think this is close. That's why it's an orange. Kentucky still played well without those guys. So, I mean, but would they have played better with them? I don't know. There's a lot of mental gymnastics there. And I'm not sure if I'll play that game in particular. Texas Tech, Kansas, showing as nothing right now, but if it was a Kansas -3, maybe even 2.5, that might be enough for me to lean Texas Tech. If I do, it'd be on BetStamp. No shocker here when you're weighting recent play heavily for adjusted offensive and defensive efficiencies. Iowa's going to show up as a play. So they are now up to 3rd in Torvik's adjusted offense, but Indiana 12th in adjusted defense. They played once this year. Iowa won by 9 at Carver, so take away the 3 for home court in the 6-point line is fair, but that game was in January, I'll point out. Iowa may be able to apply some ball pressure here. Indy gives up plenty of 3-point looks. 3rd game in 3 days for both teams. Basically what I'm saying is I understand why the line is 6. It's not a bad line or anything like that. It's just that's why I have a model like this. Memphis, SMU. I actually watched a bit of Memphis today. Man, a lot of alley-oops, a lot of brain-dead plays. It's going to be a wild ride for sure next week with that team. St. Louis, Davidson. Lean St. Louis at this point, and that's it. It'd have to get up into the 5s, I think, maybe 4.5 for me to be truly interested in. Texas A&M, Arkansas. Arkansas, one of the few SEC teams that looked real good away from home, and they've been a team with a strong home court advantage. So keep in mind, Texas A&M is surging. They've beat Florida twice, Bama, Auburn, all in the last handful of weeks. Arkansas defense is slipping a little bit, but there's a glaring edge for Arkansas for offensive rebounding in this game. Is it worth 6.5 points? I don't think so. This game also has a lot of fouls. So both teams foul and draw fouls at very high rates. Texas A&M is 33rd in bench minutes. That means they play well into their bench often. Arkansas 313th. They don't like to go there. And both coaches have a tendency to auto bench anyone with 2 fouls. So if this is called tightly, that favors the Aggies as well. So I'm always looking for outs. The dog has more outs because both teams can play poorly and you can get away with it. Things like these are outs. Like if, the game's called tight. So, well, that favors the team that plays in their bench. So I just think there's more outs with that game and like Texas A&M. Virginia Tech and Duke. Duke won the only meeting by 11 at home. Duke's defense certainly has issues when opponents aren't missing every three. No clear matchup edges here. I'm hoping for a little Duke steam. Like the Duke inflation would be nice here. Creighton Villanova. I loathe betting against Villanova, but here we are. Underappreciated job by um, Greg McDermott with the 309th oldest team. Man, like, yeah, phenomenal job this year. These teams split. Creighton won by 20, and then Nova won by 34. And the funny thing is that these games were like a week apart. So, and they were a long time ago as well. So it's likely Creighton turns the ball over here, but they've survived turning the ball over pretty much all year. From a pace perspective, this is going to be a grinder. So you're kind of noticing a theme. Like we're getting the good matchups here. Like the cream is rising to the top. The cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah. Tulane and Houston. One more, Ron Hunter. Give me one more. Jalen Cook was dressed for the game on Friday, but did not play. It's being labeled a severe hamstring injury, and Hunter said he was 70-30 to play. He didn't get in, didn't warm up, was in uniform, and I'd say if he gets in, he's not himself anyway. Houston swept the series by 14 and 11. Tulane's always at a rebound disadvantage, but this one is extra scary. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. Give me one more, Hunter. Cornell and Princeton, they split the season series. Princeton by 2 at home, Cornell by 5 at home. But this is a high variance game. Both teams will shoot a significant amount of three-pointers. Princeton has had the better perimeter game this season. Recent data and shot quality prefer the Princeton side. Monmouth and St. Peter's, no line yet, but I'm expecting 2 or 3. And yeah, unless the line comes out at 7, I'm on St. Peter's, and I don't see that being a possibility. So St. Peter's won both games this year by 5. They're now up to 34th in Torvik's adjusted defense, and Monmouth's defense is leaky enough for that bad St. Peter's offense to get some. And these last 2 games, Monmouth has won by 3 to 4 points in both games, and uncharacteristically shot the lights out to get there. And obviously, I'd been betting against them both times. Full disclosure. Texas Southern and Alcorn State. I'm expecting a line around 4. It's a lean towards Alcorn State because I'm expecting Texas Southern to be favored, but I should self-exclude from SWAC and MEAC matchups. Vermont is playing a home game, so keep that in mind. I'd add in the home court advantage for the last time prior to the NIT. And showing as a slight play. I mean, a possession of value on 18 points is a lot different than a possession of value on 4 or 5 points. But did we finally set a Vermont spread high enough? Maybe. Vermont won by 27 and 17 this season against UMBC. UMBC 305th in adjusted defense, but laying 15.5 points in a 65-66 possession game is a lot to ask, although Vermont has had no problems leading by like 28 at half of every game they've played. Coppin State, Norfolk State. Coppin State's real bad, but they just went 12 of 29 from 3 to beat North Carolina Central. Folk swept the season by 7 and 30. There are a lot of edges on offense, on defense, massive rebound edge. Laying points with any team from that conference feels gross, but Norfolk State is actually a average team, I'll say. Like they're not awful, so to speak. So that's what I'm looking at. So this is kind of the pool as I'm expecting it right now. Iowa -6, a couple dogs in there with Texas A&M, Virginia Tech, Creighton, and Tulane. Princeton -6, St. Peter's, I don't think you can set a line that I'm scared of, but I do want to be smart about the line and not be bullheaded. So KenPom is 2. So just be careful with that. Torvik's 3.5. So like if you saw a big number for whatever reason, like be patient there. Um, but I'll be in on that game. And then, yeah, let's sign up for some punishment with Norfolk State. There's a few pending matchups. Zona will get UCLA or USC. New Mexico State will get the Abilene Christian Seattle winner. And Long Beach State will draw Riverside or Hawaii. And Boise State will draw San Diego State or Colorado State. So there's some things pending out there to be wary of. So what I'll do is I'll pull in fresh data for those teams in the morning, and then I'll organize the spreadsheet by tip time. And tip time is 10 a.m., so 9.5 hours from now. This is Cutting Down the Nets.